Good morning, communities. RJ back with another video. So let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day from 2003 Flair Tradition Turn Back the Clock inserts. This was one of 10, 2 of 10 TBC. It's numbered. Interestingly, I couldn't find any of the other cards up on the bay. I thought, 10 cards, I can probably get this little subset real quick, real easy. Couldn't find any of them up for sale. This is the only one that appeared. Well, this is part of my set. I didn't buy this recently or anything like that. It's been in my binder for years. Really cool image. It's hard to see. There's like a ghost image of another player right there. They got a couple other things kind of folded into the image. A lot of images, a lot of overlapping images. So really cool little Mike Schmidt card. My random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Today's random baseball item of the day. I am not a button collector, like buttons, pins, and it's not something I go out of my way to collect. I have no space for them. They tend to be very boring and very bland. They never have any real price value to them unless you get some kind of really special one from ancient times. But this one came in a purchase I bought of other items. Somebody gave me this as well. Is a Phillies World Series release. I don't know that if that's necessary by the Phillies, but it obviously celebrates the 1980 World Series and where the Phillies beat the Kansas City Royals. That's right, beat. You hear me, Chris? Chris from Missouri, you hear me? The Phillies beat the Royals in that World Series. Woot woot. So it's just a button. It's not necessarily a Mike Schmidt item because it doesn't have Mike Schmidt's face on it, but that's my random baseball item of the day. So, today's trivia question: on this day in baseball history, July the 9th, 1987, this future Hall of Fame member hit a career home run milestone by passing the previous third baseman already in the Hall of Fame who had established the career record for third baseman. Name both third basemen. That's your question. So the one guy retired, was in the Hall of Fame. He had established the record for most home runs ever by a third baseman. This guy passed him on July the 9th, 1987. Name both third basemen. What you're playing for, 3 cards from last year's Topps Archives Yankees. Got a rookie card of Austin Wells, a veteran star in Gleyber Torres, and a legend Hall of Famer in Lou Gehrig. So those 3 cards are yours. Could be yours. All you got to do is send me a guess to that trivia question. I will include my email in the description below, along with a repeat of the question. You will have today and tomorrow. We will pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to everybody on that one. So today, it is Kidz Korner today, as I have begun doing every Wednesday, showing off something inexpensive and fun for kid collectors. Parents, if you want to get your kids interested in baseball and things with baseball, you have to give them things that they can touch, things that they can play with, things that they can do more than just look at. And whereas what I'm going to show you, you might think you can't ever play with these, that's absolutely wrong, and I'll tell you why. So from 1988, here is part of my Mike Schmidt collection, something I personally am not ever going to play with, but the starting lineup figurine. This is from 1988. Now, why do I say go ahead and play with these? If I'm a parent of little kids, and I really want to get my little kids interested in this, the starting lineup figurines from the 80s, unless you got some, limited edition special one like the Dream Team from 92 or something like that, every one of these, I don't care who it is, they're $5, they're $10, they're nothing. Nobody collects these. The people like us do collect them in their sealed format. We want to put them on our shelf and idolize our PC player. But the truth is, there's no reason you can't buy one of these for $5 or $10 and let your kid play with it. In fact, you could probably there's probably collections out there where people got hordes of the old ones, and you could probably have them all for $5 or $10, the whole collection, because they take up a massive amount of space, and they're not worth anything even today. But people like us collect them, you know. Here's my 1988 one. Here is my 1989 one, but I also have one out of the box. And again, you could actually turn his little head here. His head goes to the side, or so you can make it look like he's at bat rather than just standing forward. And he'd be doing this. He'd be looking to the side if he was at bat, you know. He got his name on the back. His hand goes up and down. You know, the bat doesn't come out because the bat's attached is part of the bottom hand, but this hand kind of goes up and down. I guess theoretically I could, you know, take the dang bat out of his hand and do this. You know, just put his hand down there like he's doing a one-handed swing, you know. The body pivots a little bit. You know, so, I mean, it's a toy, for goodness sake, people. It is a toy. And again, it's got no value. I'm sorry that you people think if anybody thinks these have value, you're nuts. To this day, starting lineups are worth nothing. But they're fun for kids. It's an action figure. It's not a doll. So there's my Mike Schmidt, and I had one out of the box. I'm actually thinking about getting... There's a couple other I'm going to show in a second from my Mike Schmidt collection. But I'm actually thinking about buying one just to take it out of the box, you know. A lot of people, if you're a super collector like me, too, you also have versions of all of these cards in your set, and I do. So after the two basic ones, Mike Schmidt retired, and he wasn't featured in any of the other starting lineup releases of the main set runs, okay? But he did make it into a couple other ones. So he came out in 1995. They put out a Cooperstein edition because they knew he was getting into the Hall of Fame, so he made this one. 1995 edition. 1995 Hall of Fame card. This one's a little bit bigger. Yeah, these are the guys who made it into the set. Then they also had bigger versions called Stadium Stars. I'll show one of those in a little bit. But this is the Mike Schmidt release. They started getting a little bit bigger. They spent a little bit more effort on making the face look a little more realistic to who the person was. You know, I'm not going to say these were McFarlane's or nothing, but they spent a little bit more time on the image. So 1995 version. Then there was a Stadium Stars one from 1997. You got this massive hulking Mike Schmidt guy here sitting on top of Veterans Stadium. All right. And again, I get a little bit better at the image. You got that great picture of Mike in the background there. Really thick pinstriping. That could have been done a little bit better. But again, you have to have these if you're a super collector like me. And then the last one, part of me wants to collect all of these because of the nature, the historic nature of this thing. The all-century team. You know, I'd almost like to get all of the starting lineup, all-century teams releases boxed up as a set. I think that would be a cool set to have. And I always used to love starting lineups. It's good for ages 4 to 104, that little moniker that they put up there. And the great thing about starting lineups is that the box had this little tab here, and I think that was so you could put it on your shelf and display it. I think they realized that these were collectibles, and a lot of people weren't going to take them out of the box. So they made that little tab on the bottom of the front so you could stand it up. But again, I think starting lineups, and again, I do these videos. Again, I don't believe anybody's watching my videos for Kidz Korner. I question whether I'm even making an impact in doing this on the hobby. It's just that so many people said we need to get more kids back on the hobby. What are we going to do? And this is me doing my little part. I don't know if it's making a dent at all, but I enjoy doing it. and I think it's fun. It's a good topic for me. It's something I want people to think about. There are things out there in the collecting world that you can buy for your kids that are very inexpensive to at least get them to love baseball, to love football. Again, starting lineups came out in football and basketball and all the other sports. To get them interested in those sports by doing things that kids do, playing with toys. And then you can, as they get older, you can get them into card collecting. You got to get them to love the stuff first. You can't get them, just can't get them and have them understand that it's something, a treasure. You got to get them to have fun first. Otherwise, they won't develop that love. Sometimes you got to wonder how the heck we all develop our love for the hobby. But anyway, the starting lineups. That is my recommendation to all of you people out there who want to do something to get kids back in the hobby. Get them a starting lineup figurine and take it out of its package and let them play with it. It is a toy. These have no value to anybody. Do you think, when Chris Sewell or Mike Moynihan or any of the other legendary purchasers are out there, do you think when they buy a collection, they are so thrilled when they see a starting lineup collection? My guess is that they leave it behind. I bet Ty over at Chasing Cardboard, that's one of the things he doesn't even look at when he's going through a collection. I don't care about the starting lineups. Goodbye. And if he buys them, the first thing he does is burn them. I think. I don't know what he does with them, but it can't be good. So buy them up and give them to your kids, people. Let kids be kids. It's okay. These are not valuable collectibles. They mean something to us because we're old farts who are still, idolizing our childhood heroes. But you can give them to your kids, your grandkids, and let them play. Get them interested in the game so maybe they'll become interested in the hobby when they get older. Just this one man's opinion. All right? This is my Kids Corner for this week. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate your support as I try my best to support everybody else in this great card community, all right? We got one more of these videos on Friday, and then we'll have the recap on Sunday. So stop back for both of those if you will. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your week. See you on Sunday. Take care.